Now, as a white belt, we continue with the fundamentals. Again, we're just learning to move our bodies, and we're learning about the anatomy. We're learning how to put our foot in the right place when we want it to be put there. We're learning how to control people when they're in our closed guard. We're learning how to move on the ground. So the first one I'm going to do is a spin drill, because it's very important that the guy be sideways in your guard. Because from here, and be in my closed guard. Okay. He's straight on and he's got power, and it's hard for me to do anything to him. See? And I'm straight on and he's got very little power, but he feels safe because when I can see his chest and his face and his shoulders straight on, it's real hard for me to get any kind of submissions. I have to be sideways to him. Now I have a ton of submissions. I can do anything. So that's why the spin drill is important, because you learn to spin on your back, and while spinning on your back, you're constantly seeing and creating new positions that will put your opponent in a jeopardy. So to learn how to do that, we're just going to spin. This is one way, right? And then I spin on my back, going the other way. Spin the other way. And spin the other way. If you do this for a long time, it'll really start to work your abs, which is a very important muscle for jiu-jitsu. Spinning on my back. And that's a spin drill. Now let's do the knee and the joint drill. Okay, the guy's standing above me. A lot of times when you're working with beginners, you tell them to put their foot on someone's hip, and they might put it on the stomach, or they might put it on the thigh. You might think that you know basic anatomy, but you really don't unless you're doing it in combat. So I'm talking about moving and putting your foot in the right position quickly. So this is a very simple drill to do. Okay? I sit up, I grab the sleeves, and I just go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. That's all I'm doing. Very important drill. Then do them sideways. And that's a knee in the joint drill. Let me do it at a different angle. I'm here, start up here, just climbing up and down the ladder. Very simple. And do it sideways. From the side, just like so. And now shrimping is a drill that you do by yourself, because it's very important to know how to move yourself on the ground. Obviously we can't walk like we do normally, and if you see people who don't know how to grapple, get into grappling situations, they'll flail around, their feet will move up in the air as though they're walking on the ground, because they don't know how to create any kind of locomotion when they're on the ground. And the judo guys call this a shrimp. In Portuguese, I've even heard it referred to as a camarón. So what I'm doing is, I'm on my back, I got my elbows in, got my knees up, and then I scoot on the ground like so. See? And then around, coming towards the camera. And that's a shrimp crawl. On your back. Okay, basic standing to knee on the stomach. This is a very simple pass, very useful pass, and you're going to be doing this for as long as you're grappling. So he has his feet up in the air like so. He's trying to attack me from the guard position. I come here and I grab his pants legs like so. I turn him inside out so my fingers are in. I can also come up and do it higher. I could grab by his knees like this. And then I take a step back, and when I do, his knees come together. And then I go from point A to point B. I try to stay in as straight as line as possible. I shoot across. And I put my hand on this shoulder, and I try to hook my instep underneath his hamstring so he can't grab my leg, put me back in the half cross. Again, the other side, I'm here, pull his feet together, shoot across, and I create knee in the stomach. The guy underneath should blow his air out as he gets that knee in the stomach. You always blow your air out so that it doesn't hurt you as much when he drops his weight on top of you. So I'm here, I pull his knees together, slide across. I'm here, I pull his knees together, slide across. One more time. And that's the most basic pass that you can do in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm going to show the knee bar from the closed guard. Okay, the guy stands up. Right? I drop this hand down. I bring that shin across. Start to roll into him like so. I pull him down. And there's a knee bar right here. Quickly put this other foot over. And I still have the knee lock. It's very, very common technique. You can also drill this technique in a series, one right after the other, and it's really good for your lower back strength and abdominal strength. The guy stands up, and I'm just going to go knee bar, bounce up, come back, I'm going to do a knee bar, come back, bounce up, then do a knee bar, bounce, come up, and then do a knee bar. And this will help you to realize when the knee bar is there and when the foot's in range. The biggest problem for beginners in holding people down is that they invariably try to bite off more than they can chew. They pass somebody's guard, or they get around their legs, and they try to jump on top of them. See, so they're here, and then when they come here, the guy just brings his knees up. I'm doing this in slow motion, and he comes back to the guard. So it can become very frustrating. The guy comes like this, and just keeps pulling his knees in. Right, and he never lets you pass. So you can't just jump into four corner holds. You can't just jump into a mount. You have to go step by step. It has to be a series, and you have to do one, weak position maybe, or a weaker position into a stronger position. You're always upgrading your positions, okay? So the first hold down that you need to know about is controlling the hips, like so. I'm controlling by putting my elbow down on the floor. Then I'm going to go to side control. Don't do anything. I put this hand down on the ground, thumb under his collar, and I go to side control. Now I've upgraded my position. I've gotten a little bit further along. Now I want to go into four corner hold or the mount position. So I let go here. After I've stabilized the guy, I scoop this arm and I switch into reverse scarf hold. And from here I got two options. I can either mount, or two, by the way, if I want to go back in that position, I drop this hand and I come back into the scarf hold like so. Okay. My second option is coming in a four corner hold, which is a very, very powerful hold down. Now I'm in four corner hold. So again, the pin series is this. I control the guy's hips. Then I drop my hand behind his collar and go to side control. Then from side control I go into reverse scarf. And then for reverse scarf I have two options. I can mount, or from the reverse scarf I can go into four corner hold like this. When he starts to bridge, go ahead, bridge real hard. I put my hands underneath his back and squeeze. No, I know I have a good hold down. Stomach. Knee in the stomach comes on real slowly. A lot of beginners don't like to do it, but it's a very effective technique once you get the balance necessary to hold a position. A lot of guys feel fearful that the guy's going to push them away, that they're going to fall down, and they don't want to do it. So by doing these basic drills, you will create more balance and get more comfortable in the position. It's just like if you see a baby walking, that first kind of stumbles around and it can't really move well. You have to think of yourself as being a baby in jiu-jitsu, and you have to learn how to walk around correctly or do the knee in the stomach correctly with good balance where you won't stumble. So the first drill we do is I'm going to go from side to side, and I'm going to jump back and forth. So I'm rotating around to the right, and then I'll rotate around to the left. Okay? So first of all, knee in the stomach. Knee in the stomach isn't actually knee in the stomach. It's more like a knee across the rib cage, because my shin is underneath his left ribs, and my knee is right on top, ascends on the right side of his rib cage, right? And then I'm going to take my feet, this is very important, I'm going to hook them in, like so. And I'm going to control this shoulder. The guy on bottom should breathe out real hard and tense his abs so he doesn't get crushed when someone's on top. And if you look at my foot here, it hooks in so that he can't get it out. Because if it's too loose, you just push it. He'll get control of it this way. And you don't want that, okay? So, that being said, now we're going to do the transition from right knee to left knee. I'm here, right, and I want to go to the other knee in the stomach, so I just pop over like so. Notice, because I don't want to punish Billy Man a lot, I'm doing it with my foot on the ground. If I was in a real situation, I would do it without this foot ever touching the ground. But when you drill this, unless you want to lose your training partners, go ahead and drop with your toes and the balls of your feet on the ground. So again, I'm here and I hop on up, boom, like this, I just hop over. And that's how you go from right to left knee in the stomach, moving around his legs. Now I'm going to do right and left knee in the stomach. I think we should scoot down here a little bit, right? Yeah. Now I'm going to do right and left knee in the stomach, going around his head. Okay. So I'm here. Now I want to go to the other side. So just get up and walk around. You'll get really confused when I do this. But that's all you're doing. You're just swinging around. See? Like that. Like that. And that's how you move around the top of his head. Now, if you want to go from knee in the stomach to mount, it's a good idea because when you pass a guy's guard, you want to control his hips. Like I said, you never want to bite off more than you can chew. So, if you want to upgrade your position some more, mount is better than knee in the stomach. Then this is how you do it. Basic pass. He's got his legs up, so I pull this down, and when I do, his knees come together, and I go to knee in the stomach. Now I want to mount. I just slide this foot across, and I'm here. Simple. I'm here. Pop down, pull his knees together, put that knee in the stomach, control this shoulder here, and I just slide across and come into the mount position. Now, to get out of the mount and go back into knee in the stomach, it's just a little bit trickier, okay? So when you drill this, the uke has got to blow out all his air and keep his upper body tight. Because it's hard to do when someone gets really relaxed on you. You couldn't do this to a sleeping person. He has to be tight, he has to be tense, like you're really fighting, okay? And what I do is I grab his wrist, and I lean forward, and I hook back, across, and come this way. Again, I'm here, I lean forward, and I bring him across here, and I lean back. Now I'm back in the knee and the stomach.